Okay, did I say I was going to do a TikTok live? Look at this is my day. Did I say I was going to do a TikTok live at noontime on Tuesday, January 23rd? I did. I did, and here I am on January 23rd at noontime doing a TikTok live. Am I good or what? Are my lips chapped or what? This is so funny. So hey, welcome. Smiles, everyone, smiles. Smile with your chapstick on. Oh, so much better. When you feel better, you do better, even when it's putting on chapstick. I love it. Okay, hey folks, welcome. And just as a heads up, this is the last TikTok live you're going to see from me in about a week, so let's make the most of it, okay? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this, people. Let's celebrate the wins. Let's get out the Liz Lemon high fives, as I like to say. Let's, do this. I will share some wins with you. So here's a fun couple of decluttering wins for us. As many of you maybe saw, my husband and I last week had a unexpected flood in our basement. We dealt with that. We dealt with that, and the cool thing is that kind of spurred us to clean up some stuff that we had been kind of languishing on because it's down the basement and the main level of our house looks good. But we had some really good wins yesterday, and the best part was the trash guys came today and the recycle guys came today, and much of the stuff that we didn't need or want that was truly trash and recycle worthy are gone from our lives right now. Oh, feels wonderful. Things that have been hanging around for decades, things that were it didn't take that long, but it was like, oh yeah, it wasn't a high priority until we realized, and I was just talking to a client about this, how the decluttering makes it more easy to find things when you need them. Okay, there we go. I love it. Robin loves her chapstick, and I too. Annalisa, I'm working, but we're listening in. That's what I love for people to do. It's so funny. I just did this and I can hear better. Hello. Yeah. So if you haven't met me before, again, I see a lot of familiar names and faces and things like that. Not so much faces because those tiny little things are like this big, but a lot of faces that I love. But if we've never met before, hey, Catherine, thank you for the flower. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Why is it called Destination Decluttered? Because I love to travel. I love to road trip. I've written books about road tripping. They're right here. Some have sold out. I don't do that anymore, but what I do is I apply this road trip mindset to everyday life to wonderful results. Now I will say this, I will say this to you too, because I personally have a destination tomorrow. It's so funny, I'm getting distracted by my own hair. It happens all the time. I have a destination tomorrow of getting to the the airport tomorrow morning, wicked early. Okay, and here's the funny thing. There is a difference in the feeling of doing something because you don't want to do it and a different feeling when you want to do it. Now we are going to the airport early tomorrow because we are going traveling to a destination that we're excited to get to. If I had to get up at 5 a.m. to go to the dentist and get a root canal, sorry dentists, you tend to be my default as to the example of things we're not exactly excited to do. If I had to get up in the morning to go to the dentist at 5 a.m., I would not be psyched about it. I'd wake up in a grumpy mood. I'd begrudgingly be dragging my feet. Yeah, I'd be complaining. I'd get there, all that kind of stuff. When you choose a destination, when you're excited about where you're going, it changes how you show up for the things you have to do and want to do and get to get there. So if it means that I get up 5 a.m. to go to this, to fly out tomorrow to go to someplace I'm excited about, if I leave early enough, I get to go to one of the airport lounge. Oh my gosh, so if I show up early, I get a free breakfast. I get to go in TSA pre, get a free breakfast and a mimosa and another free breakfast and a mimosa, and then get onto the plane and get another mimosa. I'll be hungover by Phoenix. Actually, no, I think we're going through Dallas regardless. When you're excited about where you're going to do different things, and it's going to feel different as you do them, okay? So Laura is asking, where do I start? Start as the self-help book, whatever the guy influential people, I can't remember it, says start with the end in mind. Start with the end in mind. What's your destination? Why? Somebody I remember once, what's your why? And I was like, what's my why? Nobody had asked me before. So I will just ask you, why are you thinking you need to do the decluttering? Why are you looking for, what are the reasons right now, currently, you're thinking you need to declutter? And instead of beating yourself up about it, what could decluttering transform your home and life into? What does your destination decluttered look and feel and function like? Ooh. Let that swim around in your head and create a vision, create a destination in your imagination of exactly how you want your home to look and feel and function. And then you'll realize every time you show up to do a decluttering project, you're going to get closer to that. Okay? Mama Kimbo is saying, today is deep clean bedroom since all organized now. Yes, organizing always comes before cleaning. It's just easier that way. Okay. Good morning, Rio Rancho, Mexico, New Mexico, Nuevo Mexico. Very cool. I hope to go to New Mexico in the fall. So there we go. Alyssa Flick says, I love trash day. I always declutter one area of the house the day before trash day. Yes. Hey, Erin. Nice to see you. Trash day is a great motivator. Notice one of the things that I do on my TikTok lives and when I do one-on-one coaching and my videos, as I often say, use any kind of tool that's going to help you get you to do the things you want to. If your trash gets picked up on a regular basis, like ours does just where we live, use the reason that the trash guys are coming as a reason to get more stuff out into your bins. Ours, we pay a flat rate regardless of how much they pick up. It's just the two of us here. So we don't typically generate a lot of trash. So I'm always like, when we declutter, like, what's the most we can put in? Because it feels like you're getting more bang for your buck. But notice the things that you can do to encourage yourself to do these things. You know, like, let's put trash night. Okay, let's walk around. What's something we can put in the trash or recycles? Get in a habit of doing that the night before the trash gets picked up. Or maybe like when I was a kid, we'd go to the dump on a Saturday. You know, it's okay, I'm going to the dump. I'm going to drop off the trash and then we're going to, if you're lucky, we might stop at McDonald's and get like a small fries, if you're lucky. Listening to the Irish Hit Parade and WROL, but I believe that was Mr. Canerney. I'm getting my own, what do I want to say, like childhood stories kind of convoluted in my brain. But notice the things that you can use as an external kind of milestone or deadline to encourage you to do things. Invite people over to your house. That will get you motivated to get your poop in a scoop, as they say. Okay. I love it. Fold laundry says, yes, I remember dump trips. Whew, yes. There we go. Julie McIntyre, I did the backyard and filled up the bin. There we go. All sorts of good stuff. Good morning to Louisiana. Oh, hey, that's awesome. Carla just said, I had your live playing in the car yesterday. My daughter cleaned out the car while we listened. See, notice this. Notice how when you do something as simple as listening to something that distracts you, motivates you, encourages you, makes doing the task easier. Let's make the task easier. Okay? Now, Beth Whitley is saying, if you can say, are you going to Vegas to see you too? Because I'm going this weekend. I'm not, but Beth Whitley, rock on, fellow Beth. No, we're not going. I'll tell you this much. I am a private person, but I will tell you, I'm going to Palm Springs, California. Palm Springs, California is the closest place on the planet that I have found to be my happy place. I love the weather. I love the architecture. I love people who live there that I know. I love things that go on in that town. So notice I'm leading with what I love. One of the things I did when I was decluttering my home, when we were decluttering our home, is we don't live in Palm Springs, but I said, okay, here in Pennsylvania, in the house that we spend all our time, how can we make it feel more like Palm Springs? And to us, that meant open spaces, bright pops of color on white walls, kind of, minimalist, not like, boring, but, the right amount of stuff, the right amount of things, all sorts of things like that. We designed our life based on what we love, So notice that, yeah. Lead with love and you won't go wrong. I was just on a client call just moments ago, and I told her I was going to do a TikTok live, so she may be tuning in right now. flip your idea. Play with this. Here's something to play with. I don't like to tell you what to do, but I will say, here, play with this, see how it works for you. Okay? Instead of going into a room and immediately going to the stuff you don't like that you have to get rid of, stop. Flip it. Go into a room and shop for the things you love. Do you look around? What are the things you love that if you're in that room, you would buy again? That you love when you're looking at it? I'm not talking about like. I'm talking about love. Identify the stuff you love, and now you've categorized that stuff. Anything that's not in the love category then goes into the like category, and the useful category, and the no, I don't like it or love it category. When you lead into the stuff you do love, that helps you immediately categorize the stuff that doesn't make the cut. And you say, wow, okay, you know what? I look around this room and I love very little stuff in here. Now, love, I will say, I will qualify this with, love can be something that you love the fact that it is functional for you. I love my kitchen table because, actually, I do actually legit love my kitchen table. Let me pick out something that's kind of meh. We have very few things. Okay, like my bed. No, you see, I kind of love everything. I love how it looks, but think about the functionality about things. Like, I may not love my silverware, but it helps me eat, stuff with a fork, knife, and spoon. I love the fact that all of my silverware matches because I grew up in a house where none of the silverware matched except for the silver you brought out like once a year. So it was important to me to have silverware that matches. Just get curious about what you love in your home and what doesn't make the cut. That may help you identify the things that you're ready to let go of. Okay? I love it. Mary's getting some stuff out of the drain. I want to go to the Palm Springs. Put it on your list. Make it happen. There we go. Kit Kat's so cool. Never been. I'm in LA. It's like a 2-hour drive. Just head east, young person. Just head east. Okay? I love it. Beth Whitley said, since I started watching you, I feel like I love these kind of unsolicited testimonials, which just warm my heart. Makes me show up to do more of these, frankly. Since I started watching you, I have done a ton of deep cleaning and purging. And this is my favorite part. It feels so good. My Gen X pop culture brain then wants to be like, cue the Chuck Mangione. What's that? Do 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 do. Remember that? It was called Feel So Good, I'm pretty sure, right? Anyhow, that's where my brain goes. This is how I coach. This is how I show up as me, Beth, Gen X woman of an age, who has a pop culture reference. I like to make things fun. If it isn't fun, you don't show up. If it's boring, I roll my eyes to the back of my head, And so I know how I get easily bored, so I try not to make it boring for me. And ideally, if it's not boring for me, hopefully it's not boring for you, and it actually is fun. And then you're like, oh, this doesn't have to be a dirge, a dread. I could have fun with this. Oh, there we go. See, Mommy Salami says Chuck Mangione. Actually, my friend Winifred used to call him Chuck Manjoey. She, when you heard it on the radio on whatever, WRKO or whatever. Chuck Mangione. Grew up with him, lived near Rochester, New York. Rochester, awesome. Isn't that where Kodak was? See, I know. Oh, there you go. Music box answer. Do-do-do-do. Frank Mills. Somebody Mills. Frank Mills is a song that is from Hair that my husband covers because Evan Dando of the Lemonheads used to cover. So, oh my gosh, see, we could go down the Gen X music rabbit hole like nobody's business. Talk about my love language and talk about, I am fluent in that. My Spanish on Duolingo, not so much, but I have 2 languages. One is pop culture and Gen X stuff. The other one, frankly, to get more into kind of the decluttering, is the language of possibility. And you can do this in encouragement. When you're feeling discouragement, I'm kind of in the language of opposite. Any overwhelming, unpleasant feeling and thought, I can translate into a more helpful thought to get you going on. Thank you, Mommy Salami, with the Kodak. I don't know why I know that, but yeah, I love it. Okay. This is interesting. Okay. Sherry Prince is saying, my house got all cluttered since pandemic started. I can't get out of it because pandemic is still there. Okay. Notice this. This is mind-blowing to me. It is coming up on 4 years since the pandemic unexpectedly changed our lives forever. So what I want you to notice is, yeah, we had a pre-pandemic life. Then we had kind of a lockdown life to varying degrees, depending upon where you lived and what you did. We are still now like if you were a freshman in high school, the year that happened, and you are now graduating. I was whatever years old now, 4 years older. Notice the time has passed. And so we had our pre-pandemic life, we had our pandemic lockdown life, then we have post-pandemic, and then we're now a few years into post-pandemic. We are still feeling ramifications of that. So notice that you just have, and Sherry Prince, I am not judging you at all. But what I want to share with everybody is notice that we have thoughts in our head, sentences, words in our head that make us feel a feeling, and those feelings and thoughts cause us to do certain things or not do certain things. Okay? So I want you to notice how your thoughts and feelings affect your nervous system, how you feel feelings. It makes me feel nervous to go into a big group of people. I realize I love the feeling of being in my own house quiet more than I do going out to a crowded mall or something. Notice how your thoughts and feelings and habits have changed now that we are post-pandemic lockdown. That has nothing to do with people being sick, but we are not in the crazy lockdown that we were. Okay? So just notice that. Okay. Infinite Pile, thank you for letting me know that Chunk It Down is in my head when I feel overwhelmed. Good. I hope when it's in your head, it trickles down to your heart and your hands, and then you say, okay, I'm going to chunk it down. I'm not so overwhelmed anymore. The overwhelm does not have power over me. I have taken power back to me with my hands, and now I can chunk things down. I can categorize things. Categories, right? You know, stuff that's in my drawer in my kitchen. I've got, my forks and knives and spoons. You can organize them. You can categorize them. And then you can decide what you want to do with them, how many of them you want, the quality and quantity, as I like to say, and lather, rinse, repeat with that process. What is it? Do I want it? If I want it, where does it go? If I don't want it, where does it go? It's that over and over and over again. I like to make it simple. I like to make it fun. And I like to make it easy, because when it's simple, fun, and easy, you're going to be more likely to get in the car every day and do a little bit of decluttering. Now, I say get in the car because I want you to think of this as driving on a road trip towards a destination like Palm Springs, California, that you're excited to get to. And the more you just get on the road and head there, the quicker you get there, and the sooner you just live in a house and a home that feels like you want it to feel. Okay? Notice that. Notice that. That's another hashtag of me. Okay. Yes. Organization is mental health, yet staying in pandemic mode is hard to get out. Yes. You need to just notice what you can do. Okay. It is, but take into consideration how your thinking and reacting has been affected by that, and saying, is this helping me live the life I want, or is it not? There we go. What is it? Lady Liberty Lift says, I'm cleaning out and organizing after breakup. He left most of his stuff. Okay, you know what the great thing is? That's the first stuff to get rid of. There we go. Graham Bubbles, you're right. Positivity speds more positivity. Yeah, isn't it mind-blowing? Quilting 4 years. I was flabbergasted. I was looking through pictures the other day. I was looking for something. I was trying to figure out what year we bought our washer and dryer. It's because I was making a list, checking it twice. And I could see the day. I will never forget where I was when our life changed, when we were flying back from Florida. My husband was down there playing some music, and we knew this thing was happening. We weren't sure what was going on. And all of a sudden, all these gigs got canceled. We're walking around, and it's like, okay, this is changing. And then we came home, and now we had been around a lot of people because we were in Epcot for days on end. And so we said, well, we'll be safe. We want to be responsible. So we will just not hang out with our friends for 10 days a week or something. And as soon as we were about to get out of lockdown, the world went on lockdown. I'll be honest with you. I didn't mind it. I am an introvert at heart, and it allowed me the time, much like this crappy weather. If you're living in a place where it's cold and rainy, use the time you're stuck in your house anyway to your advantage. Work in your house now so that when the weather gets nice and you can get out, you can get out. Okay? All right. I love it. God's Audition, I organized everything. It's liberating. Liberating. It renews the spirit of the home. I love it. Yeah, Mommy Salami says she didn't mind it easier. And I know I'm saying, okay, so somebody was asking, chunk it down. Thank you for asking what you didn't understand, because people come here, they've never met me. Again, Beth, Destination Declutter, Decluttering Life Coach. Here's what I want to help you with. With anything, I love this because it's applied. You can apply it to everything. If anything overwhelms you, I want you to think of the fact that, hey, wait a minute, if I am feeling overwhelmed, if the word overwhelm is popping into my head and causing me to feel a feeling that I associate with the word overwhelm, I want you to say, wait a minute, I can do something about this. With anything, whenever you're feeling and thinking something not good, you can stop and say, wait, I can do something to change this. I can do something about it. And here is one of the handy tips and tricks from my toolkit, my Destination Declutter toolkit. I want you to think of the opposite of the words that are keeping you stuck. So for this particular example, I want everybody to think of the word overwhelm. And notice that it has the word over on it. Let's dissect it. It's English class. Over, the word over. It's over, it's above your head. Oh my God, I'm overwhelmed with the enormity of this task. When I feel overwhelmed, when I feel like this task is too big, my whole house is a mess. I have so much stuff. I have millions of things. I never get anything done. You'll hear a lot of dramatic language when you're overwhelmed. I want you to notice that and say, wait a minute, but there's the word over there. And when I think of the opposite, I want you to think, instead of over, it's down. Over to down. And I wish I had, actually, where is it? Okay, here's a good thing. So I'm practicing with, I'll give you a little bit behind the scenes. It's only a handful of us here. So I was experimenting with getting some stickers made with some of the stuff that I made, some of the things I tend to say. And actually this one, how do you want your life to feel? A lot of people said they like this one, so I put that in there. But here, I want to just have you pay attention to this one. It might show up backwards, but I'll read it to you. Where it says slow down, down. Breathe down, write down, and chunk down, okay? What I like to say, all the downs. So when you are feeling overwhelmed, put your hand up, and say, no, I can do something about this. And then I want you to slow down. Breathe down. Everybody, right now, even if you're not feeling overwhelmed, it doesn't hurt to just say, you know what? I'm going to breathe down into my lungs. I'm going to slow down my exhale. I'm going to calm down my vagus nerve. And I'm not talking about Vegas where U2 is playing this weekend, Beth, but I crack myself up when I think of my vagus nerve, okay? You close down and you breathe down and you slow down, okay? And then you know what you're doing. You're regulating your nervous system. You're getting it from being all like zing and like little prickles and little hackles on the back of like a dog. And you're saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to calm it down. Like imagine your nervous system is like a porcupine. And it goes zing. Now I want you to calm it down. And when you calm it down, those little prickles may start to decrease. And when that happens, you're going to feel better and you will have gotten more oxygen to your brain so that you can feel better and do some things versus being paralyzed. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I can't do anything. I'm overwhelmed. No, you can do something about this. I am empowering you. I am giving you power that you technically I'm not giving it to you. You've had it all the time. I'm reminding you of the power you have to do something about the stuff that doesn't serve you. And then one of the most easy things to do is to write this stuff down. Getting your thoughts down from up here, down onto paper, you write it down. When you write things down with your hand, it slows you down because you write more slowly than your brain goes. That also encourages you to slow down and calm down. And then when you write down all the things you're overwhelmed with and you can see them, then you can chunk it down into smaller bits to get it done. That's what chunk down is all about, Charlie Brown. Okay? So I give this to you like I would share with any of my one-on-one clients is practice this. Practice noticing how you feel. And when you start to recognize what the feeling of overwhelm is like, the sooner you recognize it, the sooner you can stop it. It's like when I get migraines and I feel one coming on, the sooner I feel one coming on and I can take my medicine, the easier it is to knock it down. If you wait until things are like this, then it's going to take a little bit longer for you to get down. But as soon as you realize, wait a minute, This is making me feel like I don't want to feel. Stop. What's the opposite of how you want to feel? What's the opposite? I want to feel calm. Okay, how can I feel calm? All right, how do I want to feel? I want to feel in control. How do I want to feel? I want to feel relaxed. Okay, if I'm like this, what does relaxed feel like? As you can see, I'm not just a decluttering coach. I don't tell you to just go out and buy a bunch of clear plastic bins and put Cheerios in them. That may be the solution to your decluttering, but I want you, because I'm a decluttering life coach, I know the correlation between clutter and how you feel. So let's notice that and let's work on this part, because then when we do that, it's going to make the decluttering so much easier for you, because you'll understand why you do certain things and why you don't do certain things. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. I love it. Carla said, I was explaining to my daughter about these lives. I said, it's a pep rally. Go team. Yeah, I should get some like little, what do you call those things? Little pom-poms. Pom-poms, Johnny. God, there's my Boston accent. And pep rally and encouragement. Yeah, encouragement. Notice that word. It has courage in it. Here's some courage. Here, have the courage to do the things that are going to get you to the life you want. Okay? Beth Whitley also said, talk about external accountability helps you do things. I also had a small ladies happy hour at my house, which forced me to clean and declutter. Yeah, we had somebody come over unexpectedly Saturday, play drums. The wonderful thing was, I got to share with you, I'm not saying I didn't go around and just quickly tidy up stuff. It took like no time at all, because we have gotten so good not only in it not having a lot of clutter in the house, but our daily habits keep us very decluttered. I'm not saying perfect, because I don't want perfect. We are humans. We live here. Right now I've got, laundry in the washing machine that needs to be done, and I have dishes in the sink. I've got stuff on there's stuff like that. But notice external accountability. Okay? It works. I love it. All sorts of good stuff. Okay? All sorts of good stuff. I do that too about the vagus nerve. Can you show that sayings again? Okay. There we go. Mommy Salami is making a Destination Decluttered notebook. When you do that, could you share it with me? Because all this stuff is up here, and I probably should write a book, and I know I'm going to do a podcast. So you let me know the things that are resonating with you. Okay? So notice that. Oh, very cool. Laura Gibbons Voorhees. I haven't seen your message, but thank you. Laura, it was helping a friend of hers who struggled with hoarding and decluttering, and she used some of the tips and tricks that I share here. So there we go. And thank you for notice. Yeah, write down. Okay, so here's an interesting thing about writing down the stuff you do and getting it done. A list. I am a list maker like nobody's business. I never realized other people weren't list makers until a friend of mine who I've been friends with since junior high, we're still friends to this day, shout out to Suzanne, was like, oh my God, you've made lists since high school. Remember that time we went up to Vermont and I was like, yeah, I kind of do. Did I make a list? I probably did. Making a list gets your thoughts out of your head and onto someplace, onto paper, so you can look at them. And when you can look at them down there, you get distance from them and you can say, I can do something about that. Once you do that, a great way to help you get it done is what I call breeze blocking, which is a process I help my clients with and people on the mailing list. Quick shout out if you want to join the Destination Decluttered mailing list and learn how to breeze block, because there are free workshops I give. DestinationDecluttered.com/join, and scroll down to the bottom of the front page. There's a little thing there. Put in your email address. I'm just going to make sure if it's going there. Does it work? Yes, it does. And then the other thing too, really quickly, because I'm going to double check because I don't want to misrepresent myself. So I do one-on-one coaching. If you're interested in me being your one-on-one coach, okay, there we go. I have a calendar where you can sign up for a consultation. A consultation is pretty much just like this, you and me on Zoom. I ask you what's jamming you up clutter-wise. You tell me. I mostly say I can help you with that. Okay, cool, let's find out about it. We just have a nice casual talk, and then we get you on the calendar and we start coaching one-on-one. I do just the only thing I do that you want to know about is it's an hour a week. Once a week, an hour a week for 10 weeks in a row, or 20 weeks or 30 weeks. And right now there are a few consultation slots available on my calendar, not for next week, but for the week at Thursday, February 1st and beyond. When I come home from my trip, I will schedule more in. I just want to plant that seed, okay? So I teach a lot of those things. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, Erin, see? Yeah, start with the things you love has to go in the book. So many of us start with what can I toss? But that's a lot more of a difficult conversation because then you're having, but if you start with leading with what you love, that already gives you a nice separation. So play with that. Yeah, you know? Okay, Emily is asking, how do you bring yourself to get rid of baby clothes and toys? So what you have identified, and here's another fun thing. My husband has been writing, he's working on a project where he's helping somebody write some kid songs. And last night, we were out last night with some friends, and I had had a cocktail. I love having a cocktail. And I said, you know what would be fun? I need you to write some fun little songs for Destination Decluttered. And I said, here, can you write one about surface, stored, and sentimental? And then he's like, boop, boop, boop. And he said, oh, wait a minute. And we were at a friend's house who had a guitar hanging on the wall. He grabs the guitar, he starts playing it. I took a video of it. It was wicked funny. So it would be interesting to see if he makes a little jingle about surface clutter, stored clutter, and sentimental clutter. Now, I bring that up because Emily is asking about baby clothes and toys. That is totally sentimental. That is totally sentimental stuff. The sentimental stuff, as I'm sure you know, but I'm going to be really obvious about it, is the stuff that causes you to feel feelings when you see it. Because when you see it, boop, 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 like the Bionic Man. I got to remember if it was a Bionic Man or Bionic Woman. I promise next time I do a TikTok live, I will figure that out. I'm even going to write down Bionic right now. Can you tell I have a touch of the ADHD because I distract myself, but I get right back on it. You look at something, you see it, it sends that picture back to your brain, but it tells you a story. It triggers a story in your head about who wore that, how old they were, what was going on when they when they wore those baby clothes. And you remembering however those kids are old are now, how little Smidgy Widgerson they were, is going to cause you to feel feelings. And there is that kind of, I know there's probably a more elegant way of saying it in different languages. I think Brazilian probably, or Portuguese probably has a wonderful word for it. But that kind of bittersweet feeling of loving them who they are now and seeing how young they used to be and noticing the passage of time. Because if they've grown, then we've grown older too. Okay? And that can bring up the feels. Okay? Oomp loomp. Everything is sentimental. Everything is I always question the dramatic words. Really, is a pen sentimental? It might be. Look for the things that are not sentimental. Make decisions on those. And then you will have categorized the things. If you are a sensitive person and a storytelling person and a sentimental person, many things you look at, everything you look at is going to tell you a story. Listen to the story. Pay attention to how that story makes you feel. And if that story doesn't make you feel good, maybe you've identified something you can get rid of. Like Upthread, somebody said, I'm pitching all this stuff. Actually, I'm the one who's saying to pitch the stuff. The guy who broke up with me left all his stuff here. When I look at that stuff, it doesn't make me feel good. I'm going to donate it away to somebody else. Okay? Sentimental clutter is many people's problems. High Life is saying it. Emily is saying it. Okay, it was the Bionic Woman with the eye. Okay, thank you, people, my fellow Gen Xers. You get me. I feel seen with a bionic eye. Boop, 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 boop. Sentimental is the clutter that tends to jam us up the most. But before we get to sentimental clutter, I want you to remember there are 2 layers before that you can practice making decisions on before you get to sentimental. Do not start with the heaviest weight in the gym. If you're not used to decluttering at all, start with the easy stuff. If you are used to decluttering because you have decluttered all of your surface items, when your surfaces look good, when you open up a drawer or a door and your stored items look good and are organized and you have the right amount of just the right things, then you have had practice. You have built up your decluttering muscles and mindset and ways of dealing with things so that you will be stronger and feel better about going in and deciding what sentimental stuff you want to keep and what you don't. Okay? So ask yourself why you're keeping it, but also ask yourself this: who are you keeping it for? Are you keeping stuff for somebody else? Oh, my kids might want their artwork someday. Now, maybe you're keeping this because your mom pitched all your artwork, so there's very few examples. You know, maybe you're doing this to do these things, to do a good thing. You're saving this stuff for an ostensible good reason, but is it becoming too much? Do you have too much sentimental stuff? Only you can prevent forest fires, but only you can also determine the right amount, the amount of items, the quality and quantity of items in your home that feels just right to you. Here's where I'm always thinking of Goldilocks. Not enough, too much, just right. Quality doesn't work, works really well, doesn't, works, has too many bells and whistles. Notice that having too much is an abundance issue. And it's not about not having any, it's about feeling just right about it. And the quantity of items you have is going to make you feel just right or not so good. Okay. All right. So just notice that and start to pay attention to the stories. Now, Erin is asking a really good question. What if you have items you love, but you don't know where to put them or use them? I say the things that you love, if you love them, they should be out on display. Now, where you put them, then that's going to be almost like I like bringing in like math and real estate, because those are kind of things that we already have a handle on, is seeing what's already on display that is taking the place. You have a finite amount of display space. Now, I used to work in visual displays for decades of my life, in management, in retail, and home management, like Pier 1 and Mikasa and Filene's and all that. So something's got to give. Look at what you already have on display and decide if the stuff that you love, could you replace it? Could you add it to there? Could you add another shelf somewhere? I know I've done videos, TikTok videos that are around here somewhere, probably down on my page. And quick aside, if you haven't followed my TikTok page, could you do me a favor? Do me a wicked good favor. It would be wicked nice if you did it. If you like what you're hearing, please consider following my page. I know, for example, that I have a collection of little kind of almost like tiki bar drink memorabilia, little things like that. And so I put up some very small shelves in the corner of this one room. I didn't make them too big. And I said to myself, I can only keep what's going to fit in those shelves. Now, those shelves are kind of chock-a-block full, but I like how it looks because I designed them. So my displays, I'm really good at, I used to really enjoy doing displays. So I like the quantity and quality of stuff, and it fits there. Okay. So just notice why, if you love it, why is it not out? If you love it, why aren't you using it? The answer could be like, I don't know, I'm going to start using it. The answer could be like, well, I love it, but I only use it in the winter. Okay? I'm not judging any of your answers. I'm just encouraging you to ask the questions of yourself in a non-judgmental way, in a loving way, and in a loving way that's hoping to get the answer is going to get you closer to living a life you love and your house looking and feeling and functioning like you want it to. And allow yourself to hear the answer. Don't judge yourself. Just be curious what your answer is. And when you're curious and you are open and you're coming from a place of love, your brain will offer you up solutions to your problems. So experiment with that. Don't be judgy. Be curious. I don't know why I don't have this on display. I should put it on display. I like it. All right, I'm going to make space for it. I found a framed print that we have had hanging in our house before we moved here. And then it was hanging for the longest time in our bathroom. And then we painted our bathroom and the colors didn't go well. And then it didn't really initially I didn't feel like there was a place that it fit. So I put it down the basement. Last week when the basement flooded, I said, you know what? I want to find a place for this to go. And if it doesn't fit up here, maybe I'll give it to somebody. Like, I think it's cool, but maybe it just doesn't fit in our house anymore. All right? Have this conversation with yourself. Quilting is asking any tips to overcome scarcity mindset. Yes. Notice that if you are truly abundant because you have too much stuff, you don't have scarcity. Now notice I can say that rationally up here to your conscious brain. You know, it's a different story. Talk to your heart. Talk to your heart. Catch yourself when you're in that scarcity mindset. And if you grew up with it, it's a hard habit to break. And remind yourself, this isn't how it was then. This is how I am now. I am not in a scarcity mindset. Calm down your backseat drivers. Calm down yourself and remind yourself that you don't need to grab all the stuff because it's free, because you might not have any when you're home. You know, that you need to eat all the food because if you don't eat it quickly, somebody else will have eaten it and then you go hungry. However your scarcity shows up, where it shows up, notice when it shows up, calm down your nervous system and remind yourself, this is not back then, this is now. If anything, I have too much. You know, oh, I got to buy it, it's on sale because that's a good bargain and I need to save money. My husband and I joke about saving, we're spending ourselves rich. You know, just catch yourself about that. You know, okay, I'll have to repaint a room to hang this up. Colors don't go. Notice that. Do you want to repaint the room anyway? You know, it's baby steps. You know, I did the same thing with that print. The print was more of a green and orange thing. And then the way we repainted, my husband did, our little bathroom ended up being more aqua. It didn't fit. So I'm looking for where it does fit, you know, and who knows, maybe that might be just the motivation you need to get somebody else to repaint it for you and mix up your place. You know, play it. Okay, furniture you don't want. Okay, you know what? Furniture, if you don't want it, call up a Goodwill. There's places that will probably come pick it up. Find resources in wherever you live. There are resources. If you open yourself up to it, you can Google. You can ask people. There are places where the stuff that you don't want can go that have the potential to help people. That doesn't immediately mean it goes into the landfill. Okay? So notice that. And I'm ignoring the pleas for money there. I think that's a bit spammy, not cool. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to continue here. Closet cleaning tips for letting go of items. I just have too many clothes. Get curious. Have a conversation with yourself. Do I wear this? Yes or no? If I'm not wearing it, why do I still have it? Well, I spent a lot of money on it. Well, I don't fit into it, but I hope to. Well, I have so many of these that I don't wear it frequently. Have a conversation with yourself. Do it without judgment and listen to your answers. When you get more information, you're able to make a more informed decision. Okay? Notice that. Have a conversation with yourself. Pay attention to yourself. So much of this decluttering is like you're paying attention to external things, how I look at work and what's going on at work. Is that person okay? Is this person okay? Blah, blah, blah. We as women, and I'm inferring by names and by people I know on here, that most of us grew up as we were raised in the you know, the female woman side of the male female equation in a patriarchy. We were raised both either, if not overtly, then subtly reinforced every moment that it's greedy to pay attention to yourself, that women, we're supposed to take care of everybody else before ourselves, that if you take care of yourself, you're greedy, you're not paying attention to your husband, you're not paying attention to your kid. What about your job? And I say, to a certain extent, F that. Because when you feel better, you're going to do better. When you know more about what you want, you can more easily get it. When you are clear about what you want in your life and what you don't, that's going to help you and it's going to help other people. Okay? So do yourself a favor and start to pay attention to yourself and speak to yourself lovingly with love and curiosity and compassion and gentleness. Quiet down those backseat drivers who are trying to beat you up. Treat yourself nice. Listen to yourself. When you feel better, you do better. I'm telling you, I would not be showing up so frequently on TikTok over and over again, preaching this, spreading the word, if I wasn't so freaking gosh darn sure that this was the way to go. Because I lived decades being in fear, being in lack. Despite all outward appearances, you know, I was making a good money at my corporate job. I felt poor. And I felt like lack, and I felt, you know, whatever. I have learned through practice and getting coaching myself and reading coaching books and listening to people how to work with what I have, my thoughts and my feelings, to quiet down the ones that don't help me and to then encourage the ones that do. The ones that say, you can do this. Come on, just show up. It's the first time, literally, you guys, I was looking through my book the other day. So I keep a book of good stuff, and I want to, there we go, Italian patriarchy. The world is a patriarchy, okay? Here's a fun thing. I'm gonna share this with you. I was realizing, because I come from a perspective of that as the woman in the household, the decluttering shouldn't just fall to you. Everybody should participate in the maintenance of and take ownership for their own stuff. This is counterintuitive to the patriarchal society. And I say, yes, it is. And that's how I teach. So I said to my husband between coaching sessions this morning, I said, I'm dismantling the patriarchy one decluttered house at a time. Because every woman I help pay attention to what she wants. And it doesn't mean, it's not an either or. The more you pay attention to yourself doesn't mean a lack. If anything, it helps other people gain more skills and be more good. But I just wanted to offer that. Randomly, I was talking about TikTok Lives. It was a year ago, 2 years ago? Yeah, 2022. No, it was, okay, a year ago, like within the next couple of days, I randomly showed up. I was scared, but I was going to do it anyway, and did a TikTok Live. I don't know, I turned on my phone. I had enough followers at that point. It wasn't much, it was like 1,000. But it was still a lot. Trust me, I was excited to get to 1,000 followers. That's a BFD. And I just did a TikTok Live, and I started talking about decluttering. I got 200 followers that day. And I was like, wow, there are people that need help about this. I know how to help them. So what do? I show up more. Because I have something. I don't want to keep it to myself. I want to share it with you. So you can be helped like I was helped to feel better and do better. Okay? So that's why I do what I do. And I know it feels helpful to know that you're not alone. So many people struggle with this. We are just the pinpoint. But you know what the neat thing is you're realizing, because you've stuck around on this TikTok Live, or maybe when you're watching this when it's a recording on YouTube, that you can't do it on your own. What you're doing on your own has gotten you so far. That's great. You know? And I just got some good news. Yay! High five to my sister and to my mother. Yay! You don't have to go through it alone. No. Did you teach yourself how to drive a car by yourself? Did you? No. I bet you got help somehow. Somebody you knew how to do it, who had the skills, teached you. I almost said teached you. Taught you. The other thing is that depending upon who they are, I learn better from people who approach things with kindness and curiosity and compassion and all that good stuff. I was walking to yoga this morning, and I said, I am more carrot and less stick. Instead of going like this and beating me up, that doesn't work for me. I roll into a ball like an armadillo, I cry, and I don't get anything done. When somebody says, hey, you know what? This could be fun. I guess maybe, I don't know why, it's because I had orange paper. Think of the orange on this as a carrot. I'm moving towards something I want. And trust me, I'm not just pretending that little donkey gets the carrot. You will get the carrot, and you will actually feel like you had the carrot because we treat it like a road trip. You know, let's have it fun. I can tell I forgot to put, oh my God. I forgot to put on my do not disturb me thing, so I'm getting a bit of texts, but I'm going to try to concentrate here. Focus. Notice, we have so many things in the world right now. We live in the most distracting world in the history of humanity. So don't beat yourself up if things are vying for your attention and you can't focus, because practicing focusing on what's important is going to help you get to where you want. Okay, Kristen says, do you work with collectors? Sure, why the hell not? I'm a collector. I have been. I call myself a recovering collector because I don't collect as much as anymore, but boy, do I know the mindset. I can't get started because I have a vintage glass collection. Okay, how about this? I said it earlier, you may not have been on, but so much of what I say applies to so many situations. Kristen, I bet, because trust me, I'm a collector, I bet in your collection that you have glasses that you like better than others. There is a hierarchy of your vintage glass collection. It's not, everything is not equal, that if you really paid attention, there are certain ones you like better than others. So notice that you are creating kind of categories. I know for myself, for example, one of the things I used to collect was plastic snow domes from traveling. There were some that I liked better than others. It was either the shape or the color or the little guys on the inside, maybe something moved around. I know from collecting Fiestaware, there are certain colors of Fiestaware that I like better than others. There are certain plate sizes. Even within the bowls that we have in regular rotation, when my husband and I have my favorite shape of bowl. We have two big bowls. I like this shape better than the other. I bet if you just with curiosity look at your collection, you can identify the ones that you love better than the others. And then, as collectors do, you curate your collection like somebody who wants to. It's more of a museum approach than a thrift store approach. When you curate your collection, you surround yourself with a higher quality of item simply by getting rid of the stuff that isn't so good to you. Okay? Oh, ID Princess. Beth is great to work with. Thank you. I love the unsolicited testimonials because that does mean a lot. I never ask people, with the exception of when you stop coaching with me and I say, hey, are there any words you want to share with people? And that's why I have testimonials on my website. But it really honestly does mean a wicked lot to me to know that what I am doing is helping people, because it helps me it encourages me to show up more. All right, so thank you, ID Princess. Erin, someone once said to me, clutter is an outward reflection of the chaos in your mind. Agree or not? Kinda, yeah. And I say the flip side too, is notice that when you're cluttered up here, it's probably cluttered out there. But also when it's cluttered out here, it doesn't help you up here either. I know I think a lot. I have a lot more, basically what I call peace of mind. Quiet in my mind. Quiet in my nervous system. Calmness. Ease. And just flow, or the kids might say. I feel a lot quieter and more at peace when I have less shit around the place. Because I'm not, even my brain, if you think about it, the way your brain works mechanically, it has to create a little image in your brain of every single thing you look at. So the more you look at, the more your brain is just constantly doing stuff. That's why, like, for example, when I apologize, I don't remember your name. When you go out to collect something, if you look at everything, you're overwhelmed, but you say, okay, I go into this giant thing. I'm thinking of my sister because she collects Pyrex. I took her to a place out near Morgantown, Adamstown, PA, that all they had was that. And I'm like, oh my God, this is kind of overwhelming. But you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for something specific. When you look for something specific, you can create blinders to say, I'm only looking for, and I was looking for like a rectangular baking dish that went with the other ones I already had. In order to focusing helps calm that down, the overwhelm. Okay? But just notice it about yourself. If you have a table, put a line down the middle of it. Put your clutter on one side, clear off the other side, and have nothing on it. And look at it and say, how do I feel when I look at this side of the table? How do I feel when I look at this side of the table? And pay attention to how these things make you feel. And if you feel better when you look at the less cluttered side, just think if you could increase that less cluttered a smidge at a time. So the more you looked at, the less clutter you had. And it makes you feel good. And when you feel good, you want to do good. And you feel better, so you do better. When you know that what you do is the result is feeling better, and you make that connection. I don't necessarily love the process. Like, I'm not like, a yippee-skippy 50s housewife that's like, I just love doing the dishes. Sometimes I love doing the dishes because my hands get cold, so my hands are in the warm water. I don't mind it. I don't love doing the dishes, but I don't mind it. Because it's just something I do. I don't imbue it with a lot of energy to sap my energy. I do it, I get it done, and then I just get to enjoy the results of doing that, which is clean dishes, cleaned out sink, easy to find dishes that I'm using, counters that are nice, for miles and miles, nothing but clear, feels good to me to have a less cluttered home. Now, the funny thing is, somebody else could come in and be like, look at all this stuff you have around your house. It's overwhelming to me. To me, my amount of stuff in my house is just right. And I want you to feel the same way about your house. I don't care about the quality and quantity, about what it is about me. I want you to create a home and a life that looks and feels and functions like you want it to. Boop. Just like you, right? There we go. User 52804 said, I got off the couch and started cleaning when I saw your live notification. Yay, yay. We have a finite amount of time in our lives. Time is passing. Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll. If you know, you know. Make the most of the time you have. Make the best of the time you have. I'm going to sign off in 5 minutes. It's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern. What are you going to do between 1 p.m. Eastern and 1:30 p.m. Eastern? Could you do something that is going to make your home or your life look or feel or function better? Now, only you know your categories. You know what you've got going on. Maybe you've got a hard stop. Maybe, I can't do anything. But I want to plant a seed with the time you have. Do something that makes you feel better. There we go. Lucy White got it. Yeah, not for very much longer. Okay. Tammy says, I love watching you. Well, you know what? I love showing up doing what I'm doing. I honestly freaking do. Because I feel like I was Gen X. I am Gen X. I will forever be Gen X. So I have had a bunch of random jobs and hairnets, as Wayne Campbell would say. I have done various things in my life, and I have never felt like it was the thing that really was my deal. Like I felt aligned with it, but I knew how to do certain things. But what I have a really good idea of, and this is collecting, is everywhere I went, I would pull the good with me. I say, what did I learn from that? I'm going to tuck it in my bag. What did I learn from that? I'm going to tuck it in my bag. No, I wasn't stealing. Well, maybe I stole a pen or two, What did I learn here that I can use to improve my life? And I will share with you that my houses have always, wherever I've lived, has looked good on the surface because I knew how to merchandise and collect stuff, and I have a way with color, and I just have an eye for that. I have an artistic eye for that type of stuff. However, for decades, if you opened up a door or a drawer, I would have had too much stuff. The basement, when we first moved in here, it looked like we had lived here for 20 years because we moved in with so much stuff. It took a while for me to realize an easy way to declutter. And it was getting clear about what I wanted and what I didn't want. And feeling okay with saying, I don't want this anymore. Where can I put it? And what do I want? I made space for the life I do want. And it's something, it's teachable. I can teach you this. Okay? I do teach you this. Right now, I'm teaching you how to pay attention to yourself. That it's not being greedy. That it's a necessity. Okay? And quality you love and not quantity. Okay? And you're welcome, Beth Whitley. You said you've been saying good stuff, Gen X. And yeah, I really am digging and grooving on, as my friend Todd would say, where I am in my life, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. And I just want to share this stuff with you. I have an abundance of stuff that I can help you with, and it does no good. I have optimized my life. It's feeling good. I'm leaving for freaking Palm Springs, California in less than 24 hours. I'm going to go there, and then in a couple of weeks, I'm going back again. In a couple of weeks, I'm going on another trip. A couple of weeks, long distance. I am creating the life I love. I want to share the skills with you so you can do it too. And I love sharing. I will say, I love saying, hey, this is what I've always loved. Like, even when I have collected stuff, it's like, oh my God, this is so cool. Here, let me show it with you. Hey, I found an old-timey place to write about. I want to share it with you. I love discovering things, and I love sharing them because I hope it delights you the way it delights me. So that's why I show up, okay? And I did see a couple of things that people said they weren't able to hear me. I don't hear that from everybody, but what I will share is if you do, I will be downloading this TikTok Live and then uploading it to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. So you'll be able to hear all of it now. I also will be going away, as I said. Oh, thank you, Beth. Yeah, I feel like it's a gift, so I'm going to share my gift with you. It would be a sin. Why would I want to keep it to myself if I can help other people? A rising tide floats all boats. Okay? So that's why I'm here. Now, I won't be here for the next week or so, but you will have plenty of TikTok Lives that have been recorded that you can listen to. Also, seriously, listen to yourself. When I'm gone, listen to yourself. You could even say, even for the short term, what would Beth say? What would Destination Decluttered? If I were in my car and I couldn't get started, what would I do? I'd get excited about where I was headed. I would, oh, that's right, I don't have any gas in my tank. I will fill my gas tank. What would you do? What would Destination Decluttered say? And I would say, what would you do if you were in your car? Okay? No, I'm signing off. I have to go get a pedicure. I have to start packing because I believe I'm clocking out after this. And yeah, live a life you love. I can help you with this. And this is another kind of catchphrase I'm working with here is let's have fun and get it done. Let's get it done while having fun. I love rhymes. Something like that, okay? All right. When you have fun, you get stuff done. Okay, that's my mantra. And yes, there we go. There we go. There you go. Beth, tell Bono I said hi, all right? All right, you all rock. Okay, you do. You've got it going on. Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and don't mess with Mr. In Between. I will see you in about a week, all right?